Hello and welcome back to Clause and Effect, sponsored by Red Bull. Drink Red Bull. Make sure you drink Red Bull. Are you drinking Red Bull yet? Red Bull gives you wings.
We're not fucking sponsored by Red Bull.
Disclaimer, we're not actually sponsored by Red Bull.
Not yet.
Drink Red Bull.
Holiday gold, North Pole, North Pole. Welcome back to Clause and Effect. This is week 13. This is the quarter-way mark, so quarter-way through our watches of the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. I'm Jacob.
I'm John.
I'm Theodore. Guys?
What?
Yeah?
I don't really know how to feel about the movie at this point, and I've said this a couple of times, but how I unfeel about the movie is changing, which is a strange experience.
You want to say that in, English, please?
Yes,
No, but before we
I
get
can,
on to that,
but
I'm just going to point out to the viewers, because this is the quarter-way mark, we've taken the liberty of watching it together again.
Yeah.
So that was a nice experience. The movie went a lot faster this time around, because we weren't trapped alone with our souls and our minds thinking away, rotting, as this movie took control of our lives.
But anyways, when I was watching the movie, last week, I just sort of watched it and, didn't feel much of anything except for, I paid attention to a few scenes and was kind of like, yeah, this is a good line, this, all that stuff. There are highlights in this movie, few and far between as they may be, where I'm like, yeah, this is a decent scene. I feel like I'm watching a good movie for once. But as time is going on, I'm just finding myself reacting less and less to even the things I find. I still think they're fine scenes, but I just don't care about them anymore.
I think that's normal with, watching a movie this many times. It's just because it just becomes standard. That's just what the movie is. But I mean,
I guess it's just getting stale.
For me, I think it's retroactively changing how I think about the movie.
How so?
I think back to my previous watch and it's like, that wasn't that special. And it's just even though it was different and new at the time, I just think of it less in hindsight because of my viewings now.
So the nostalgia is wearing off, essentially.
Basically.
Ugh. That's not
John,
great.
how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm feeling a bit relieved that we're already a quarter of the way through it.
Yeah, no, that is something worth talking about. A quarter of the way done. That's...
1/4. Just 4 more of these...
Wait, 4 more? We watching 5 quarters?
Yes.
Oh, that's a bad commitment.
I just can't count.
That's fair. 65 is a more round number, to be fair.
I feel like I'm cursed at this point, because for the 5th week in a row, I've had snowfall around the time I watched the movie. Because there was snowing pretty fucking bad this morning. I went to bed shortly after watching the movie with you guys last night, woke up, saw some snow on the ground, and later in the day, it was just okay, why the fuck is there snow everywhere? What the fuck is going on? It's the middle of March.
Is that a curse or a blessing, though? Really?
I don't know anymore. It's happened for 5 weeks.
Well, you should only start getting concerned if it starts happening during the summer.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, to be fair, I have had snow in May before, so... But the fact that this happened 5 weeks in a row, it's becoming a pattern, and I don't like it.
Maybe you just have a constant snow cloud over your head that follows you wherever you go. And it only
snow is fun and all, but I don't have...
when you watch the movie or something.
Yeah, I like snow. Snow is fun, but the problem is I don't have anyone to enjoy the snow with.
Okay, yeah, that kind of sucks sometimes, yeah.
Maybe Jack Frost is coming to say hello.
That's...
Hey, thanks for watching my movie 13 times.
Alright, can anyone turn Jack Frost into Mr. Bean? Because if so, I want to fucking do it.
No, your hugs have to be warm enough to turn a snowman pink.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't think any of the three of us are qualified for that.
Well, okay, have you tested that yet? Because I've not had a chance to hug a snowman in years, considering that I've not had snow this bad in years.
That's a
Well,
fair
okay,
point, actually.
Maybe the problem is we just haven't been drinking enough Red Bull.
Oh, of course, yes.
Drink Red
How could I
Drink
forget?
Red Bull. Drink Red Bull. Drink Red Bull.
Okay.
Speaking of Red Bull, didn't we want to talk about the Red Deer machine and how Jack Frost gets into the Hall of Snow
Yeah, I
Globes?
was actually
Okay,
I was just about to
yeah.
bring that up because
good.
Me too.
I just
We're in sync
realized that during the Hall of Snow Globes scene, Jack Frost he slides in on the other side of the wall that Santa and Lucy come in on, which means that somehow he had to know to stand there when the wall started moving. But
Yeah,
more importantly, how does he get out?
How does he get out?
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
doesn't
how's
know
he
the
get out?
combination.
I pointed that out during the watch, and it's like, how does he get out? Like, Ted, I remember you just going to say something, but then you just stopped, stammered, and it's like, good point. Like, that's what I remember from
We
the
don't
watch.
know how he got out.
I think I said something along he just brute forced every possible combination, but like, it's not like it's a
It's not a
lock pad or a
keypad.
or anything
It's
like
not
that.
It's not an intuitive It's not intuitive.
Yeah, you have to
Like-
like do these weird specific things to a vending machine. It's not
Yeah, you have to twist. Alright, the twisting one knob, that's kind of obvious.
Right, you have
Pulling
to-
one out, that's a bit iffy, but
Right.
one might think of that. Then press the lowercase d.
You have to press the center of the D, and then a little magical bad CG firework shows up in your eyeball,
and then you have to pass it to the person next to you.
and then you explode and time reverts one day.
God damn it, John.
But
I'm guessing that's a JoJo.
Yes.
even more importantly than the question of how Jack Frost gets out of bad CGI jail. I really want to point out just how I never noticed for 12 other watches, but that's really bad, blatant product placement for Red Bull.
Drink Red Bull.
There's so much product placement for Red Bull in that area. You have the,
Yeah, no,
the vending
in
machine
in
and then
the
the
bean
bean
closet,
closet.
there's
You
just
have
like
cans
50
of it just
tins.
stacked.
There's just cans of Red Bull got stacked. I don't even think they changed it to Red yet. I think if you zoomed in, it would say Red Bull.
That's
Yeah. So they obviously they changed the machine to say Red Deer.
right.
Because
It's the North
I guess it's because they wanted to make it more North Pole like, but I feel like there's also a legal reason that they did that.
Drink Red Bull.
They probably did have a brand deal with Red Bull though.
Oh, almost certainly. What do you think the legal reason would have been that they had to change it if there was one?
Red Bull doesn't like how their products are being used as a plot device.
Maybe Disney just didn't want to go the Adam Sandler school of product placement, which is just blatantly say out loud during your movie that you are having product placement.
I mean, that's fair.
What, just saying in Dead Running Tones was, I am so enjoying this Red Bull.
Yeah, Santa takes a sip from a can of Red Bull and then points the label at the camera and then sets it down on a table with the label still towards the camera, and then he goes
And
over
the-
to Curtis and says, "Hey Curtis, sorry, I know you wanted me to review this list, but I was just drinking this Red Bull. By the way, you should drink some Red Bull."
And the camera stays focused on the can during the entire scene.
You have been replaced by Red Bull, Curtis. I'm sorry. but
That would
I'm
be an
sorry,
upgrade, to be
Curtis,
fair.
But Red Bull is now the head elf.
Okay, speaking of this, during the watch, I mentioned how the version of the movie go if you chroma keyed out Curtis and replaced all of his dialogue with his wind noises.
It would make every other character in the movie look like they're insane. Which I think is fun, but also would
Yeah.
remove the worst character from the film, which would increase my enjoyment exponentially.
It's true. Like, Jack Frost would suddenly just have visions of an invisible person there telling them what the snow globe, like, how to get Santa to not be Santa anymore. And on top of that...
We made a lot of really interesting hypothetical situations regarding this movie during our watch, and probably
Yeah,
that's
what
why
was
I was
another
so
one?
entertained.
You know what the more fucked up thing about removing Curtis would be? Is that then the issues that Santa has with his family come from him listening to an imaginary, like, an imaginary advisor, essentially, that is telling him not to spend time with his family and to spend more time working, which is kind of a horrifying implication.
So what you're saying is that Santa just has some imaginary headmate or whatever.
Yes.
If I recall the phrase, like, Tulpa, I think it was. That's actual name for it, I don't fucking know.
See, my other hypothetical was that the initial cut of the movie did not have Jack Frost in it at all.
Oh, yeah!
Because he just seems so out of place in most of the scenes that he's in that I think that what he did was he just shot for shot reproduced scenes from the film with himself in it in front of a green screen and then chroma keyed himself over it.
I really enjoy this whole idea of when the Santa Claus 3 happened in real life, Jack Frost wasn't there, so Jack Frost snuck into the movie studio and edited the movie to include himself in it.
Okay,
The real
one
Jack
other
Frost.
fun thing.
Yeah, of course.
In between our watch and this recording, I looked up on TV Club some more fan theories on the Santa Claus 3.
Mm-hmm.
And one theory I looked up was the movie is Jack Frost's second attempt, and this is because Jack Frost managed to get some lasting effects on, like, the canon of the Santa Claus, like Bernard being gone.
What?
What?
You're saying that... What?
The TV Club's guest page is saying that Jack Frost's the movie is Jack Frost's second attempt
Wild mass guessing.
at trying
Okay.
to fuck up the timeline.
Well, that's fun and all, but let's talk about more interesting facts, like the fact that Tim Allen, the actor, the human person, is apparently allergic to being Santa.
Oh yes, I looked that up. The costume actually had some really negative effects on his skin. So yeah, Tim Allen just doesn't like being Santa.
And it really makes a lot of sense in retrospect, because when looking back at this movie, anytime he's basically on screen, his face is extremely red and shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly
Yeah.
I thought that they were putting makeup on him to make him look more Santa-like. But the fact that his face not only looks red when he's wearing the Santa suit, but also, like, swollen and kind of shiny.
Yeah, like, and if you look closely, you can see it's not as bad when he's got his casual, like, jumper sweater thing
It's
on.
kind of unnerving.
You know what they call that in the industry? Practical effects.
It's not... No.
Well, I mean, it means they don't have to do makeup, I guess. It's terrifying, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what it would be like if in-universe Scott Calvin was allergic to being Santa? Like, he just starts sneezing really badly when Christmas rolls around, and it's not because he has a cold, it's just because he's Santa.
Oh yeah, another thing I looked up in TV Clubs. Other people that they tried to cast as Santa, they originally tried to write in Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, and Robin Williams.
I'm assuming that this is relating to the Santa Claus 1?
Yes, the Santa Claus one.
That's a...
And also Harrison Ford.
Okay, this is an interesting lineup, honestly.
Yeah, no. How would these actors fare as being Santa?
That's a good question.
I like the idea of a Robin Williams Santa.
Yeah, but I think the important question here is how much of the movie, and I mean, I guess we can't really know for the other two, but at least for the third, how much of the movie do you think would be different depending on who was playing Santa? Because this is a very Tim Allen movie, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
It's very Tim Allen.
So I feel like the tone and the jokes and all that would definitely be very different between the others.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a lot less sarcastic and if it was Robin Williams, it would be a lot more slapstick than sarcastic.
He wouldn't be Santa for long, though.
No.
Harrison Ford would be Santa until he gets stabbed by his son.
Oh my god. Are we really doing this?
I know there was a joke about Charlie Sheen in one of the Santa Claus movies. I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but it definitely wasn't 3.
It was probably 2, if I had to guess. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't 1.
yeah. What was Charlie Sheen even a thing back when the Santa Claus 1 was created?
I don't fucking know.
Was Charlie Sheen a thing?
You know what
he
I
was
mean.
born, yeah. He was
In the
born,
realm
yeah.
Was
of-
Charlie Sheen hatched already when the Santa Claus 1 came out?
Which came
Wait,
first?
so you're
Which
saying
came
Charlie Sheen
first,
is
the
an
Charlie
elf?
Sheen or the
I'm
egg?
saying he's a lizard man.
Oh god.
Charlie Sheen is a slippery reptile. So it's been 13 weeks, and I've got some numbers because I figured it would be important to
All
have
right.
these numbers.
Let's go.
Seeing as we've watched the movie 13 times, this also means that we've visited the bean closet 26 times. We've watched Santa die 26 times. We've listened to North Pole 13 times. Well, 26 for me because I listen to it once a week anyway. And I think probably most importantly, we have listened to reindeers fart 39 times. It has been 4 months since we started this. Well, closer to 3 months. Almost exactly 3 months, actually.
No, it's like 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. Let's go with 3.5. It has been about 3.5 months since we started this. Since then, we have watched, I would say about 20.5 hours of movie footage, which means 20.5 hours of our lives we're never getting back.
Great.
I've gotten a year older.
It's true. You have.
You have. We've passed by about 4 major holidays, including Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is New Year's included
Easter's
in that?
coming up soon. Easter's coming up soon.
We have Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick's Day, which is today.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way, from
Hooray!
2 days in the past when this finally gets uploaded.
All right, important question. Is there a legendary figure for St. Patrick's Day? In
It's
the
a
canon
leprechaun.
of
Not
the
that
Santa
we see in
Claus.
the movie.
He was in every scene, but the problem was he was below shot.
That's terrible. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
continue
I'm
with your
sorry, I
fact.
didn't mean to be so racist against leprechauns.
It's not... Okay, we're just going to move past this.
Continue the facts.
Okay. Let's see. The duck has said quack 39 times.
In bad accents.
Mm-hmm. We've witnessed the miracle of childbirth 13 times, although we have witnessed the labor sequence 26.
I will object to the idea of us witnessing the miracle of childbirth. We see nothing of the sort.
Yes, you're right.
We see it beginning, but we don't... yeah, you get the point.
Approximately 30 billion children go without presents this year.
Right.
That's fine. What can I do for you?
2.6 times... Yeah, okay.
Let's see, what else? You guys have anything? Neil's sweater has had 26 viable wearable options.
What?
Because it's reversible.
Oh, right. Oh, that...
We have invoked the escape clause 26 times.
Have we really?
That's true.
I guess.
We've attended 13 legendary council meetings.
Yeah, true.
We've watched the erotic kitchen scene 13 times.
We have watched 26 people get frozen horrifyingly.
Yep. Can't object to that. We've seen the bad CG for them getting defrosted 26 or 13 times, depending on whether or not you considered them each individually or but yeah.
We've seen Santa's sleigh enter the North Pole 26 times.
We've seen Aurora Borealis 13 times.
No, it's multiple. It's visible in multiple scenes. It's more like 39.
Wait, it is?
It's visible. It's visible when they come into the North Pole. It's visible when Santa, Tim Allen, and Scott Calvin fly to the North Pole on the airlines. And I think it's visible in the opening shot of the movie.
Oh my god, you're right. Okay.
So yeah, we've viewed Aurora Borealis 39 times.
We've seen Cupid 52 times.
Oh, you counted what scenes he's in. Okay, cool.
Even though really one of those scenes shouldn't count because he has no voiced lines and he's just there.
Jack Frost has asked people to be his elf 26 times.
We have listened to the Easter Bunny talk about how he shit on the floor 13 times.
And how he's totally going to clean it up later. He's not,
and depending on how many times you've watched the blooper reel, we have listened to the Easter Bunny hit on Carol's mom like 39 times, I believe.
I've never watched the credits and I don't plan to start. Maybe I will someday.
Same. We've watched toothpaste get squirted out of a gun 26 times. Was it 39 if you count?
I wanted to
Yeah,
interrupt.
39.
I wanted to interrupt to bring up something I mentioned during the watch, which is that this time around when Neil flipped up his sweater vest to show that it has a reversible side, I got this great mental image of what if the sweater vest was the only thing Neil was wearing on his torso. So when he flips it up to show that it's reversible, he's just fucking shredded under there.
Yeah, and
It's a very good
also
mental image.
yeah we've watched elves sit on fiberglass 13 times.
No, we
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which
Although,
is something I
honestly,
pointed. Which is some, huh?
Honestly, like, even you can see that there's like a little bit of a floor underneath them, but their legs are still touching it.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
proposed that instead of fiberglass, elf walls are insulated with cotton candy.
Uh-huh.
I still think it's fiberglass.
I don't know. It's kind of a tough call, honestly. Like, we know that the construction in the North Pole is very, shall we say, Christmas traditional, but at the same time,
Also-
I somehow doubt that their houses are made of food. It's not like they're gingerbread men, you know?
They're
Also,
okay, but
Also,
At the same
did you
time-
count how many? Did you count how many swans were actually in Sylvia and Bud's house?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how many. Because times that by 13, that's how many swans.
okay, so
in the
we've
movie.
seen 39 swans, although I'm not sure if one of them is a double-headed swan or if it's two swans side by side, so that could be 52.
Right, there's a weird amount of swan-related things in Bud and Sylvia's house.
Yeah, why are there so many fucking swans?
I think it's just a generic old person decoration, honestly.
But then, like, speaking from experience, like, there are some cases where old people do have, like, a lot of, like, an animal, like, statues in their house. Like, I know my maternal grandmother has, like, used to have a lot of pig statues in her house.
Mm-hmm. Is that why you were so fascinated by the Canadian bacon place pig statue?
Possibly. I like the giant pig statue because of that. I've just got fond memories of seeing all the pig statues.
Trying to think of anything else notable that happened during this watch, and I feel like...
I mean, for one thing, we took note of how many lines were... They seemed out of place. They seemed like they were added in post.
Right.
How many's total?
I don't know how many total, but I know there was when Carol walked off screen during the blood pressure thing. She makes a very loud groan,
Mm-hmm.
and that seems dubbed over.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the duck lines are obviously that, but I don't really want to count those because that's not a person saying them, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
What else was
How
there
many did you
after
count, though? I didn't count because I thought you two were counting all of
that?
them.
I didn't count because I figured I would remember more of them, which clearly I didn't.
Let's see. There's Tim Allen behind the snowman saying "Whoa, freaky," but we already
Yeah.
covered that one.
That one's definitely added in post, like no question.
When the elf
asked.
face palms during North Pole, that's dubbed over.
Oh, I
yeah,
bet.
also when the elves gasp when the oven sets on fire, that one's obvious.
I think it's pretty clear that at the very beginning of the movie, when one of the elves says, "I stopped a pedicure for this," that's definitely in post. No one on screen is saying that.
as we already covered a few weeks back, now I gotta put his underwear in a bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also during the Bad Future fight scene when Jack Frost is telling Tim Allen to get down from the gingerbread house. That's actually dubbed over because his lips don't match the way he's saying the line.
Okay. Interesting. I feel.
If we can't think of any more now, want to just get into our signing lights?
I guess.
Like, okay, my signing light for this week was when Santa tells Jack Frost to put a shell on his bottom, the way Jack Frost just says, makes it seem like he's actually considering it, like his head tilting and his eyebrows just make it look like he's actually considering basically kissing Santa's ass.
I think he's cringing in disgust.
No, his face expressions definitely makes it look like he's like, yeah, maybe.
My shining light is Bud slowly putting his head on Mother Nature's shoulder. 13 weeks later, and that's still very good.
It is.
It's
Mine is actually somewhat related. My shining light is the face Sylvia makes when she turns and notices the Easter Bunny is near her, because that's my reaction every time I see the Easter Bunny at all. Do we have anything else to talk about?
We
let me
had
check
a
my
lot
notes
to talk
real
about
quick.
during the movie, but
Yeah, but we didn't really remember any of it, which is the unfortunate thing.
Also, one more thing I have on my notes. when the racist duck is making its racist remarks, Curtis is nodding along with it.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's very proud of the fact that the duck says quack in 3 languages.
Or is Curtis secretly racist?
Ooh, here's something to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
If Bernard was still alive, do you think
Oh,
Jack Frost would have been able to go through with his master plan?
No.
All right, and discussion.
I mentioned this before, that having only seen this movie, we really don't know much about Bernard's competence as head elf, or like what his personality was like. So it's difficult to say. But I think at the same...
But we know that Curtis is incompetent, bordering on
yes.
series' main antagonist.
Oh, yes. I think it's very clear that Curtis is incompetent in all respects.
I like to think that Bernard is some, like, kind of Rambo deal where he's just a hardened badass from being so elf old.
He has an 8-pack.
He flips
Like,
up his sweater vest and boom, there it is.
Accurate, and I don't want to know if it's accurate until, like, the end, where we actually maybe watch the first 2 movies.
From vague memory, I know that Bernard is definitely not buff.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe he gets buff in the second movie. That's a thought.
Maybe.
Ooh, when Sandman and Tim Allen are walking up to the in-laws' house,
Yes.
there is a family in the background packing their car for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah, what are they up to? I want to know about their lives slightly.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because this is a Disney production, I wonder if that's not actors in the background who were just told, look busy.
Oh, you think this might have been, like, filmed on an actual,
if it
like...
was filmed on location.
Yeah, I could actually very much believe that.
Didn't you joke that in the background it was just Christmas with the Cranks?
Yeah, that I joked that in the background that was just the house from Christmas with the Cranks.
I really do like this idea, though, of like every Christmas movie being part of the same universe and some of them happening simultaneously. Like, imagine if what was it? I remember it's some kind of generic name. What's the name of the Christmas movie that, like, everyone knows, where the dude has or wants a BB gun or whatever?
A Christmas Story.
Okay, I knew it was some generic title like that. I like to imagine that happens, like, at the same time as the first Santa Claus, and I don't know why, but that idea is just very funny to me.
One thing I do know is that every Disney live-action TV show, like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, are all in the same universe. Because I know they have crossover episodes.
Okay, so are you
So,
saying?
I don't know
are
if this
you
applies
telling
to the
me
movies as
that
well.
the Santa Claus trilogy is in the same universe as The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
I would like to go further and say that all Disney movies, all Christmas movies, and all Tim Allen productions
Wait.
in
So
the
you're
same
saying
universe.
that Toy Story is canon in 2 respects because Tim Allen, one voice act for Toy Story, and Toy Story is owned by Disney.
Because I have toyed with the idea of the Tim Allen extended universe.
Okay,
I have
okay.
toyed with the idea of the Christmas extended universe. But I haven't touched the Disney extended universe.
Well, no, the Disney Extended Universe is already there because one, all Disney live-action TV shows are already in the same universe, and Kingdom Hearts exists.
Ooh, you're right.
So wait,
Kingdom
by
Hearts?
by extension, all Square properties are in the Santa Claus universe.
Or have at least a
what you're-
connection to the Santa Claus universe. So we could see in Santa Claus 4 live-action Sephiroth trying to kill Tim Allen.
Wait. So what you're saying
God, that
is
clipped
that
my
Tim
mic
Allen
so
Santa
hard.
Claus could... So you're saying that Santa Claus could appear in Dragon Quest?
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
good point.
I'll take this one step further. As more foundation for this basis. In the Just Cause franchise of games, there is a running gag that there is a random out-of-place snowman in every game.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. It's just a snowman. And it's completely not where it should be, in places that shouldn't have snow.
So you're saying that this snowman...
Because it's a snowman.
Yeah.
That
It's connected. I don't know. I'm scratching here, but it's just a random out-of-place snowman in every game.
Maybe that
It's just called
snowman
Mr.
is.
Snowman, and it's nice.
Maybe the
I like that
snowman is a
snowman.
dimensional traveler.
Yeah, that snowman is a dimensional traveler.
You know that one movie about that, like, father who learns how to be a better father by turning into a snowman?
Jack
Called Jack
Frost.
Frost.
That we have discussed before.
We have not discussed it on this podcast, though.
That is true. That is very true.
So if Jack Frost, that Jack Frost, and the Santa Claus 3 take place in the same universe,
That means there are two
then that
people
means
named
there
Jack
are
Frost.
very many Jack Frosts running around.
Wait, so does that mean that there are multiple Jack Frost hosts that can exist at the same time, but only one Santa Claus?
But for some reason, one of them is just a really creepy snowman.
I think there's nothing stopping someone from legally changing their name to Jack Frost. Actually, no. I'm gonna change this up a bit. I think that
Dignity?
dignity. What?
That'd be a good reason not to change your name to Jack Frost.
Yeah,
Oh
maintain
yeah,
your
no.
dignity.
Actually, that's fair.
Alright, but let's take this even further.
Oh no.
We know that Cloud is in Kingdom Hearts, but he's also in Super Smash Bros.
Oh no.
Oh no!
It comes full circle. Scott Calvin and
Oh.
Smash Bros.
Ryu is in Smash Bros. He is also part of a canon fighting crossover game with Family Guy and American Dad.
This is just getting worse and worse.
But we can
Wait, there's a
shorten
there's a
that link.
crossover episode between Family Guy and The Simpsons.
No, but we can shorten this link by the fact that Fox is owned by Disney now. So technically,
true.
Family Guy is already owned by Disney.
All right.
But we can take this the complicated route and just say that because of Ryu being in Smash and being fighting in with American Dad and Family Guy.
I like better the idea of Tim Allen or Scott Calvin, either the person or the character, who cares, showing up as a secret boss in a Street Fighter game.
No, wait. No, fucking hang on. Because I'm gonna stop you there. Marvel vs. Capcom also exists.
Oh yeah.
Which
Okay.
means that
We
Tim
have access to
Allen
the X-Men
is canon
franchise.
in the fucking Marvel universe.
We have
Oh,
access
and wasn't
to
there
the
a
Marvel
and there was a
universe,
crossover with Marvel and DC in
Which-
one comic line.
Which
Which means-
that means that Santa Claus, Spider-Man, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle,
Oh shit!
the Pizzavengers can be
the
formed.
Pizzavengers.
Pizzavengers! Not
All right.
the Pizzavengers!
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So
Should we
the
explain what we're thinking?
Pizzavengers, I feel, is something that needs to be explained.
I
yeah,
remember
this
this conversation that we had now.
This was a crossover idea we had while watching the movie earlier, like the other day.
Yeah, I don't know when we
Santa
started.
Infinity War. We mentioned like this is the like some sort of Santa Infinity War or something like that.
No, because
not relating to.
Wait, how do we? No,
How
no.
did
Here's
we get
what
on
we
it?
can't
Because
get.
I remember bringing up that Tim Allen seems like the type of guy who would be very obsessed with getting things to people on time, and so that brought up the idea of a Santa Claus where Tim Allen works at a pizzeria.
Right, and then I think I suggested or Jacob suggested that the idea
a
of
cameo by Spider-Man. That's right.
a cameo by Spider-Man as one of the delivery people, Peter Parker. So then
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think someone also brought up Yo Noid.
yes, I
And
remember
then
Yo Noid being their antagonist.
And then I, in my genius, decided that this would just be a crossover with anything that's remotely pizza themed.
So we have this.
So
Oh, God.
We have the
Wait,
Samurai
Ninja Turtles,
Samurai
Samurai
Wait,
Pizza
there was
Cat,
another one,
Cats.
but I forgot what it was. There was the Noid, Spider-Man.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Scott
Turtles.
And then
No, there was another one.
and then we have a cameo by Thanos, or whatever their name. Yeah, Thanos. Is that right?
yeah,
Okay,
Thanos.
who just really wants a pizza. They're not there to cause
He
trouble.
just really wants a pizza, but he needs 5 very specific toppings. on the
Exactly.
pizza.
Oh no, here was the other one: SpongeBob and Squidward because of the
Oh,
Krusty Krab
SpongeBob
pizza
and Squidward
episode.
from the pizza episode.
Right.
Yeah.
And specifically from the pizza episode, so SpongeBob's just singing all the time.
SpongeBob is singing, he rides in on a boulder, but it's not just a boulder.
It's a
It's a
rock.
rock.
Okay.
And then Thanos rejects the pizza because they forgot his diet Dr. Kelp. Alright.
And then Squidward just shoves it in his face anyway. And then they have to get the actual Avengers because Thanos is angry.
The Pizzavengers, coming to a theater near you.
The Pizzavengers.
I would watch the hell out of the Pizzavengers.
Me too. But maybe that's because I like very dumb things.
Same. But yeah, I think having the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it was the best move.
I really like the idea of Yonoid as a villain turned ally at some point in the Pizzavengers saga.
He's the anti-hero. He's like the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Tim Allen Pizza extended franchise universe.
That's a terrifying thought. So is there going to be a point in the saga where Yonoid gets a gun?
Yeah.
Yes. He already has one, doesn't he?
No, he has a yo-yo.
He has a
Yo-yo.
yo-yo.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought, because probably somebody made a dumb meme image of Yonoid holding a gun that says delete this.
Probably. That does sound like something the internet would do.
And I feel like we've gotten very off topic.
What topic?
Pizza time.
The only other thing that I can think of that we talked about yesterday was the nature of Tim Allen's power to manipulate time, and how I assume that he can only ever use it if the thing that he's building happens to be a toy.
Right, because I propose that his power is essentially that of the master builders from the Lego movie, where he can just build shit really good.
But I think that, like, he can't build, like, a house or something. It has to be a toy of some kind.
So he could build a toy house. Could he build...
I mean, you were bringing it up because you had noticed that Tim Allen says that he wants to try to fix the,
Yeah, the
tree
ornament. The tree topper. So I was thinking maybe he just has some sort of magical building or fixing powers that allow him to, like, fix anything.
His stand, Crazy Diamond.
His stand... Crazy Diamond. That's three JoJo references.
I wish I could join in, but I still haven't watched JoJo.
You should read JoJo, Ted.
I know you've said multiple times you think I'd enjoy it, so...
But yeah, I think it would be funny if he tries to fix the tree topper, and then instead of a normal tree topper, it turns into, like...
A Lego star.
like a toy of some sort, like, yeah.
That's pretty terrifying. I actually remember now, I proposed, like... I questioned whether or not that tree topper in particular had any special sentimental value to Carol, because, like, I can understand the whole thing of, like, just the pressure constantly building up with family tensions and all that, and then just the tree toppers, like, the tree falling and shattering and breaking, being like, okay, that's the breaking point. This is where things get very sad. I can understand that, but I also can't help but wonder if it's meant to be more powerful by, like, having that. Maybe that came up in the Santa Claus 2, I think was what I wondered about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was
I
the only
think if
other
it was
movie
that
Carol was
important
relevant
to her, then she wouldn't have forgiven him that quickly.
Yeah, that's fair, honestly.
But, I mean, like, it's a really, really convincing performance, though.
Yeah, this is something we don't bring up very much, if at all, in the podcast, is that Carol's actress does a really good job. Like, Carol is a well-done character in this movie.
Literally the only character in the entire movie that makes me feel genuine sympathy.
Yep.
Hey, what about Bud? Bud's cool too.
I can't feel sympathetic for Bud because he's too overpowered.
There's nothing wrong with his life. He's amazing. There's no sympathy.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing that we complained about, because of course we complain about it every time, but this time it was meaningful that we complained about it.
Mm-hmm.
No characters in this movie have an arc.
Yeah, no, it's true.
That is no character arc at all.
There is
I feel
no
like the closest
development whatsoever.
character to have an arc at all would be Carol.
Because she goes from not having a baby to having a baby.
Yeah, and maybe, if you scratch it a bit, having doubts about the life in the North Pole to liking everything and just losing all free will.
Jack Frost felt like he had the beginning of an arc, and Tim Allen felt like he had the end of an arc. But neither one of them have a justifiable...
And, like...
End or middle
resolution
point, really.
Nothing
to that
completes
arc.
the arc. Tim Allen didn't start out needing to change, and Jack Frost didn't
Got
change.
bitch-slapped
He
hugged
got
by...
forced to change, yeah.
Yeah.
He got bitch slap hugged by a little girl that turned him into Mr. Bean. Like,
He got tossed akin to an elf, a freshly tossed elf. And his arc got cut short by a massive brick wall that he then slid down to the conclusion of his arc, which was being Mr. Bean.
Alrighty.
I think that cartoonish imagery wraps things up rather nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
here.
we're done here.
So I've been Theodore.
Santa baby,
Yeah,
I've been John.
I've been Jacob.
just
Fuck.
slip a sable under
This is
the
why I don't say
tree.
my name.
For me,
I've been Theodore.
I've been Jacob.
Fucking!
good girl,
Well, fuck it.
baby.
Happy 13, lucky number 13. We're ending it now. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Alright, reindeer math.
Okay.
Because somebody doesn't fucking believe me. Okay, so we've
You're right,
watched
no,
this movie.
We've got 39
there's-
reindeer
No,
thoughts.
shut up. Shut
Oh,
the fuck
no.
up. We have to watch this movie 52 times.
Yes.
We have already watched it 13, which means there are 39 more watches to go.
Okay.
Reindeers fart 3 times a movie.
Yeah.
So it's 39 times 3.
And then you add that onto the 39 we already have.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do, because that's how many times so far throughout the entirety of all the watches.
I'm not
we've
trying to
done.
figure out how many total. I'm trying to figure out how many there are left.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed.
What a fucking disaster.